if you have ever been in the situation, maybe you're there today, maybe you're there right now, where you just wanted to change your life, change everything about it, pursue your dream, you're stuck in a job you don't like, you're stuck in a life you don't like, you're unhappy, this is the interview for you to listen to. She's got a great story. She overcame a lot of things. She's been rocking the comedy stages, and she's actually been in a Golden Globe award-winning show as of this season, the 2020 award season. So she's going to tell her story, so stick around for that. Enjoy it, hang out, get to know Aniria Turney, comedian and actor. Enjoy the show. We'll catch up to her at the Tampa Improv.
I have a teenage daughter. Everything starts with no offense, but those pants are a little too tight. Or no offense, but that shirt is a little too big. And I'm like, no offense, but before I had to, I look like a Kardashian. I mean, she didn't have to know it was Bruce Jenner.
Today, our special guest, Aniria Turney, actor and comedian. How's it going?
It's going great.
It's
great.
It's the brand new year. Everything's on the right track so far.
So far, it's only been 9 days.
I know, right? Can't go too wrong.
Yeah,
it's not like you're going to start a war in 9 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it takes 10.
That's true.
It takes a dozen days. So I wanted to talk to you and have you on the show because not only because of your entertainment, things you're doing in entertainment and your successes, but because it's a pretty motivational story from where you started and to where you are now.
Yes.
So let's start where you...
First thing I did, I was actually married to my ex-husband, and I decided I've always wanted to do comedy since I was like 14. Mm-hmm. But, got discouraged by the parents. I did the whole go to college, get married, and I found myself just really wanting to try it. And I went to a workshop, then I went to an open mic, and I met my mentor there, which was Pretty Paul Parsons.
Pretty Paul Parsons,
yeah.
Yes.
And I started doing stand-up for just a little while, like a few months, and then
now this was when? What year was this? This is 2008, 2000.
It was before that.
2007, around 2007 or so,
yeah,
right around there.
Yeah, around
okay.
Around that, maybe even earlier, because I only did it for a few months and then stopped.
Okay.
Because I got pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, okay.
And so then my marriage just went downhill.
Wow.
Yeah, and I left the comedy scene after only 3 months, and then around 2008, I came back.
During the recession.
During the recession.
Came back. Well, I don't have anything else to do.
Yeah. So. And at that time, I was a single parent. I had 2 kids and working full time, but this was something that I really wanted to do.
Well, now you said that you tried early on, like when you were a teenager, you were considering.
I wanted to do it. I never tried it, but it
so
was...
what got you into that? Like, who were you watching? Was there like a comedian that you were gravitating towards?
Yeah, I think that was around the time that stand-up came onto TV for the first time. Because before it was just in the clubs, and at that time...
So you're talking about in the 80s?
Yeah, it's like VH1 Spotlight.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, the 80s.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Exactly.
Bobby Collins.
Rosie O'Donnell, Bobby Collins, Elaine Boozler. Those were all a lot of the people that I was watching.
So you actually you actually had the advantage of getting to watch female comedians before it became an issue about female comedians.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because there were actually you think about back in the 80s.
Ellen DeGeneres, who was starting out on TV.
There were more prominent female comedians than like right now. There's a lot of known female comedians because there's a lot more comedians, period. But back then, they were prominent.
Yeah.
You knew we know their names right now.
Yeah.
And you think about now, it's hard to get that name recognition as a female comedian.
I absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Is that crazy?
That is crazy. You know, I never thought about it until you brought it up, but that's true. There was key females that they were household names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you basically toughed it out. You came back, started doing it again because it's obviously something you really wanted to do.
Yes.
But then you went on from there. You continued in entertainment, and you got into acting.
Yeah, and that was about 5 years ago.
And you started out. How did you catch that bug?
Well, it was interesting. I was doing a show with Dean Napolitano.
Okay.
I had never met him before.
Dean, yeah, he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. And after we did the show, he started talking to me about acting. And I was like, oh, I don't know. You know, that was just such an alien thing for me.
And he's been acting for a while.
Yes, for a long time. And so he kept talking to me about it, told me, you know what, I'm going to send you my resume. I'm going to recommend an agent. It was like overwhelming. And I was like, he said, if you get on TV or film, you book more as a comedian. I'm like, okay, you got my attention.
Yeah, that's
you
true,
know?
yeah.
And luckily he taught me a little bit more about it and introduced me to an acting teacher and so on and so forth. And I've been doing that now, and I love it too.
Now, when you first caught the bug, because that's, you kind of get that that moment of hypeness, did you think things were going to move immediately or quickly, or because of comedy you kind of understood there's a process to it?
I understood that there was a process to it, because I didn't assume that I was going to move immediately, because it was scary. And, to pretend to be somebody else and embody somebody else was something I had never done. So when I started as a comedian, it was difficult, because I'm used to being me on a stage and not having to connect with an actor.
Yeah.
And
it's a one-sided conversation.
Yes, and you're looking at the audience. Now I have this fourth wall on top of it. So it was a challenge, and I mean, I sucked for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it's funny because comedians make some of the best actors, but not all comedians can act, because it's that thing you were saying. As comedians, it's about us.
Right.
It's about me, me, me. Here's what I have to say. But then as the actor, now you have to share that it's about the other person.
Right.
How hard was that now you took classes. You're still taking classes.
I take classes. I've been going there for 5 years now.
Was that a barrier at first? Was that a tough thing?
Yeah, it was a challenge, because I was an hour drive.
Yeah.
And then the investment in time was a lot. And then you have to read a lot, you have to practice a lot. And even working on nerves, because you think as a comedian you're not going to get nervous. No. You can be you on a camera, or a version of you as a comic. But here, there's so much involved.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking. So, it was hard. But...
Yeah.
But like in comedy, you have your points where you have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And then it starts to become easier. At the beginning, I didn't like going to class, but I forced myself to go, and I'm glad that I did.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
It's awkward.
Very awkward.
Now, all of that struggle, and you landed a couple of nice roles.
I did.
You went SAG. You're SAG-AFTRA talent. And you landed in a movie.
I did.
Whose movie?
I will forever be grateful to Marlon Wayans, because, yes.
And you worked with him.
I worked with him. It was surreal, because when I auditioned, I got excited. When I knew I had the audition. Then for film, sometimes it takes a really long time.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is a long shot. And then thanks to him, him and the director, Mike Tides, picked the people, because they were the producers. Then they I was picked. I was over the moon, and I was nervous, but he was so great to work with, and thanks to him, that's how I got my SAG card.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And that's the movie Naked?
Naked.
It's still on Netflix,
It's still on Netflix.
Wow.
We had another scene that didn't make it in the movie, which would have been really cool, because it was one where him and I making the bed, and I'm giving him relationship advice.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was my first big project.
Yeah.
I made it in the film, even if it was for only 30 seconds.
I don't care who you get to. Oh, thank God. Housekeeping. No, listen, I'm supposed to be at my wedding. I am locked out my room. My wallet, my tux, everything's in there. Can you please let me in?
Can you help me, please?
Listen, I know the Palmetto Hotel is supposed to be a really nice hotel, but the service here is unacceptable.
No, es que este no es el Palmetto Hotel, es el Mel's House Hotel.
Gracias. Gracias de nada.
You went on from there to land a couple more roles, and one of them was in a show that I'll let you talk about, that won in the Golden Globes, that just won in the Golden Globes.
Yes.
Tell me the show.
It's called The Act.
And that's with Patricia.
Arquette.
Now, did you get to share a scene with her?
I did not, but she was on set the day I shot.
Yeah.
I got to share a scene with Kayla Murphy, who plays Nick, and I did. That was my scene, was strictly with him, but I did also meet Joey King.
Cool.
She was, they were doing a scene like right after ours, so that was pretty surreal.
What was that like? What was that experience like? Now, how was that audition? Was that a live audition, or did you do a self-tape? Oh, was it really?
It was self-tape. You know, it was one of those where, as an actor, you do a ton of auditions and nothing hits, and I was having one of those days where I was like, screw this. You know what? I'm just going to do whatever I want. And I think I grabbed a bag of chips and did the audition eating chips. Like, I was just like, they're not going to pick me anyway.
Yeah.
So I want to do something different. And what happens when you get to that point is you're a little bit more irreverent.
It's that no care.
Yeah. And then, like, the next day they told me I booked it. I was, what?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And then, now, what was your reaction when you saw her on
set?
Golden Globes?
Oh, on the Golden Globes?
Oh, yeah.
I was happy because she also won an Emmy for it.
Yeah.
I think, or some other award.
So
I was elated.
Did you meet her, interact with her while you guys were on
We
set?
shared a smile.
Oh, that's good.
She walked by me and she smiled. She watched me do my scene, shoot my scene, and no pressure.
What is on the horizon right now?
Well, right now I continue to do auditions. My auditions, for some amazing projects that I unfortunately have NDAs I can't discuss, but they're great projects.
Yes.
And one of my things for 2020 is I want to do a little bit more with comedy and maybe produce a tour called the K Funny Comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that.
Yeah. So
now, like you've continued on this track, your career track, but you also, not only did you get your career track going, you got your personal life going in a positive direction as well.
I do.
Like you remarried, correct?
I remarried. He's a great guy.
I met him.
Yeah, thank you. He's very supportive of my career, which is something that I didn't have before. And we met because he came to see a comedy show, so he's been 100% in ever since. So I feel very fortunate.
And you guys just came back from Puerto Rico.
We were in Puerto Rico. My grandmother turned 100.
Wow.
That was exciting.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
We had a great time.
And you guys got back just before the major earthquake.
Yes, a few days before.
I remember living there and having earthquakes.
Do you?
Yeah, but nothing that extreme.
No,
like there were smaller earthquakes, but yeah, I remember that. So
that's scary. It's scary. I stay in contact with my family and friends, so I know I kind of have a window into what they're going through. Just through them.
So we got pressure.
Okay.
So how do you deal, like all the things that you dealt with, like with your career, with your personal life, when then things were colliding? Like how did you deal with that? What was your de-stressor? How did you cope?
Oh gosh, I would say writing.
Writing?
Writing my thoughts, whether they came out eventually as jokes or not.
Yeah.
That's how I dealt.
Yeah.
With everything.
It's like it's easy to put it. You just freehand, or you just go on the line, like keyboard, or.
Freehand.
I freehand myself, yeah.
Freehand. It's more personal.
Yeah. It feels like you're getting something out. I appreciate it, Aniria. You guys make sure you check out Aniria Turney. Find the links in the description below. And enjoy her in the movies. We'll see you next time.